So Division I college basketball varies widely as far as how many attend games at a given school. And there's many factors that go into it: the size of the school, how good the team is, and how big of a populated area the school might be in. But there are some schools that have teams playing in arenas that are frankly way too big for the amount of crowds that they draw for college basketball games. And in this video we'll go over a few of them. The focus will be on Division I teams only, as that is where the standard and expectation for attendance is higher. These are the arenas that are too big for college basketball. First off, we have an arena that can hold nearly 2% of the state's population that it resides in, and that is the University of Wyoming's Arena Auditorium. Now, aside from that being one of the dumbest names for an arena that I've ever heard of, believe it or not, this arena actually used to be even bigger. It was originally 15,000 in capacity, but with an average of only 4,207 for men's basketball in an 11,612 seat arena, this arena can only fill to about a third of capacity. In fact, it holds more than the entire school's population of students. And they've only ever sold out this building for basketball 16 times in over 40 years of operation. You know, Wyoming is the least populated state in the country, and Laramie is not a huge city either. It's surrounded by and in an area where there are just vast swaths of land where there are just no people. And if you're driving there from somewhere else, you're driving quite a while. So it kind of makes it puzzling and stunning that they would build such a large arena in a very unpopulated part of the country. But even if you had every single student going to every game, you still wouldn't technically fill this one up. Next we have the Beasley Coliseum, which is the home of the Washington State Cougars in Pullman, Washington. With just an average attendance of 3,341, it is only able to fill 28.6% of capacity, which is 11,671. Now, while there are quite a bit more students at this university as opposed to Wyoming, Pullman, Washington is not a big city, just like Laramie. At around 32,000 in what is otherwise not a very populated part of the state, it's a pretty big ask to try to fill an arena of that size, and thus they're really unable to come close. I mean, the closest major city is Spokane, and that's well over 50 miles away, and anyone that's going to schedule a major concert is probably just going to have it there instead of in Pullman. And this has never been a powerhouse basketball school, so I don't really know what the logic was in building an arena of such a large size in such a sparsely populated area. And next we have Cleveland State University's Wolstein Center. This arena opened in 1991, and its most recent average attendance was 1,890 with a capacity of 13,610, good for only 13.8% of filled capacity during the season. So this is an example of an arena that was obsolete almost immediately, but not necessarily due to the building itself, rather the function it was supposed to serve. When this arena began construction in 1989, the goal was to give Cleveland a new downtown arena, as the only indoor venue that exceeded 10,000 for the Cleveland market was Richfield Coliseum, which was way out beyond the suburbs, about 20 miles away from downtown. So this was expected to be the main downtown arena for Cleveland, but just 1 year after construction began in 1990, the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to pass an arena funding deal for a new arena downtown in what would become Gund Arena. This would hold more and be much more state-of-the-art for the big-time concerts and events, and would open in 1994, just 3 years after the Wolstein Center did. Cleveland State is more of a commuter school. It's definitely not quite that college town vibe there, but this arena is so big for college basketball that they have to put a big curtaining off nearly half of the seats just to make it look not so empty. There were serious plans for a new and much smaller arena. However, as of late, they apparently have been canceled. And aside from the building being too big, the building itself is just really obsolete at this point. It really has not been touched much at all since it was built. The now Rocket Arena, which was originally Gund Arena, is much more updated and gets most of the big events downtown as far as concerts over CSU's Wolstein Center. And next we have the Great Southern Bank Arena, which is where Missouri State plays their basketball games. With an average attendance of 2,085 in an arena that holds 11,000, this stadium fills only to 18.9% on average. Now, the problem for this basketball team is that they're playing in the main arena of what is fairly a sizable city. Springfield, Missouri has close to 500,000 people residing within its metro, and this arena's size is reflective of the demands for events of the metro and not necessarily for college basketball. Missouri State has been mostly irrelevant the last 25 years. They have not made the NCAA tournament in that amount of time, though for a school that has over 25,000 attending its main campus and whose enrollment overall is at an all-time high in a fairly sizable city, this number is quite disappointing in terms of attendance for basketball games. Next we have what probably is one of the most puzzling arena situations I've ever seen. That is that of the Jones Convocation Center, where Chicago State University's Cougars play their games. It opened in 2007, and this venue holds 7,000 and only draws 160 on average for games as of the most recent data, good for only 2.2% of the venue being filled. I really have no idea why they thought 7,000 was a good capacity for this arena, because the attendance issues run very far back. This basketball team has never been good, and there are only currently 2,317 students at the university. So you would basically need 3 times the students you have currently for every student to attend this arena and fill it up. The only reason this arena got built was basically out of a conflict of interest, as the Senate president of the state at the time, Emil Jones, directed $47 million of state money to go towards this arena's construction. His wife went to the university, so you could definitely call that a conflict of interest. But what's really puzzling is this is in Chicago, where there are plenty of other venues that can host the big scale events, or that could host Chicago State games if capacity was really needed at a high level, though that will very unlikely ever be an issue with this basketball team. Chicago State's previous venue was only 2,500 in capacity, much smaller than this, and from what I can tell, this arena does not host much of any events besides basketball. There's high school basketball games, but there's no history of concerts or concerts on the schedule at this place. And the university has a long history of financial issues. And I gotta imagine maintaining an arena of this size has to be quite a financial strain on the college as it is. To put it frankly, I really don't know why this arena was built, at least at this size, other than the fact that someone was able to get the funding from the government to get it built. Because frankly, it's just not a destination venue by any means. So those are some venues that are too big for college basketball. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.